afternoon, everybody. My name is Betty Reyes, and I will be presenting my book review on John Maxwell and his 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. I have printed PowerPoint packages for everyone so that you can read along and take some notes and jot down any questions you might have afterwards. So let's get started. So, John Maxwell was born in Garden City, Michigan in 1947. He is an evangelical Christian who has pastored many churches and led many churches in the past. He is currently a pastor now in Florida. He currently resides there with his wife. So, as I said before, his qualifications pretty much speak for themselves. He has led many churches from the young age, in his early 20s. His father was a pastor, so he's followed his father's footsteps. In 1977, he decided he wanted to be an author. He decided that he really wanted to reach other people beyond those that he met, and he figured writing would be the best way to do that, because then he could, in addition to the people that he met on an everyday basis or that he made a point to meet, he really wanted to extend his leadership teachings beyond that. He has written over 50 books just dealing with leadership and personal growth. He's had many co-authors do these books with him as well. Altogether, he has sold over 13 million books. It's a pretty big credit for one gentleman to do with some amazing leadership skills. So he also co-founded the Equip group, which is encouraging qualities undeveloped in people. And so this group is based out of a Christian organization, but it basically is an educational organization developed in order to teach and promote leadership development and organizational growth. Through this program, he has already taught over 2 million leaders, not just people, but leaders. So, the purpose of his book, an amazing book. So he has come up with 21 laws that he believes will formulate your leadership growth and path. So, for instance, the law of the lid discusses basically your potential is and what you're going to do with that potential. You might have great ideas that doesn't necessarily mean that you're a great leader. And the law of the lid just basically states you will have your own cap at where you continue to grow and flourish. Someone else might have a different level of that lid. It just kind of depends on what kind of leader you are. He also has the law of respect, that you need to be able to have that respect of your coworkers, of your employees, and you also have to give that respect. You have to be able to demonstrate that kind of respect in order to have that respect given back to you. He has the law of sacrifice, number 18. Law of sacrifice is, as a leader, you know that as the higher you go up in your leadership, the more you're going to have to sacrifice. So a lot of it is time, and a lot of it is connections. You have your family connections, sometimes you have your personal life, because you're going to put so much time into your leadership role. And it's going to be a process of trying to find that balance so that one doesn't outdo the other. So his target audience, basically, he wants to teach leadership to everybody, but he reaches out mainly to the leaders, whether you be a novice or whether you be a seasoned leader. He wants to be able to teach you things that are going to help you be a better leader, rules to go by so that you can better inform your staff and teach, give yourself some self-growth at the same time. With this book, he navigates the reader through the different rules. He's very descriptive on his rules. He provides examples. He provides quotations from famous people so that you can relate to what he's trying to explain to you. He's very informative, and it's very much at a layman's level. He provides a very clear picture for the reader. So, his strengths for this book, he has a lot of strengths with this book. He provides a lot of detailed experiences and explanations for each law. He provides a very descriptive narrative for each law. He references different things to try and be able to reach out to different people, because we all learn differently and we all remember things differently. So he provides across the board great descriptions. He provides a self-assessment at the end of each chapter so that you can sit and assess where your skills are and what you can do to improve your skills, kind of to take you up to the next level. He, like I said, he provides quotes. There are many inspirational quotes throughout the book, many, 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 and a lot of them he even describes where they came from. The only opportunity that I can see is perhaps maybe taking more of a clinical side, because the healthcare is clinical, and we're a business, yes, but we need to try and tie that into the clinical aspect. So I think maybe kind of leaning in, getting his foot into that pond might actually benefit him. He could pick up so many more leaders. So has he achieved his objectives? I think so. He provided education for the reader, very easy to read, easy to understand, great utilization of his laws. For myself, I'm a relatively new leader, and I found it very informative, and I was very comfortable with the book. You can tell I made all my little notes in my book. He provided inspiration for the reader. He's very good at uplifting. Just reading his book, I felt like he was speaking to me and telling me things that I know that I could relate to and that I could improve upon. Again, the self-assessment is really wonderful. It's almost like your teacher's giving you homework, and we all know that when we take something away from a class, we tend to hold on to a little bit more, and we can relate it to ourselves and to our practice, so that we can improve our growth. So my recommendation, again, I would highly recommend this book. It's a great book. It will touch a novice leader. I think that would really help a novice leader, somebody who's barely going into leadership. And it'll also help a seasoned leader who might be in a rut, looking for something to redirect their career, to redirect the way they think, to focus. I think that's just, he really covers a grand scale of people and readers. So my suggestions, I think in order to gain even more leaders taught, diving into the healthcare industry and the clinical aspect of it, I think would be amazing. He could really help us to connect to the leadership aspect. This is great for business, but I really think the clinical, because we are so much more clinical, I think that would tie so many things together for us. And I love that he put them all in one book, but I think maybe spending some time and getting a little bit more into detail with the chapters, the different laws, and maybe putting them into smaller books as opposed to one big book. And that way we can dive deeper into the detail of each law, and maybe easier to connect with the workbook, because there's also a workbook that is out with this book to help with that kind of stuff. So if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any. Well, great. I hope you enjoyed this review. Again, this was a wonderful book. I'm very excited to actually put some work into some of these assessments for myself and take my leadership game to the next level. Thank you, and I hope you guys have a great day.